we have a board that they walk the walk. They don't just talk the talk. So when they say we want to create risk takers, they want us to model that. So we went in with an idea. We took a risk. Will this work? What will parents think? Oh, so many questions. And the board said, no, we're behind you. We want you to take those risks and to see how you can fine tune your skills. And what we found is that we learn alongside the students, which is amazing. This is my 25th year teaching, and I've never been more excited about education. Linda and I were lucky enough last year, our board supported us in applying to the Ontario Ministry of Education for a TLLP grant. And they gave us funds to be able to top up the equipment we already had. And what we realized during this is that there are so many schools in Ontario whose teachers are creative and innovative, but they're met with resistance at federation level, at board level. And so they've got these grants for equipment, but they're stuck with ordering purchases that they don't have clearance to use. Our board took away those barriers. They took away the barriers. Our students have Google accounts, access to YouTube accounts. We're not afraid of it. We're not afraid of using social media because we teach our children responsible digital citizenship. And imagine going into a job, coming out of an education like this, where you're already a risk taker, a problem solver. You've already learned globally with other students from other countries. Last year we did a project with our grade 1s and another grade 10 class. And these were high-risk grade 10 students who were not showing up for class. When we joined forces, these students were lined up at the door, ready in the morning to take on the day's challenge. They would call our students, we would have Google Hangouts, and they collaborated on these stories through Google Drive and Google Hangout. Then we brought them together. They made trailers of their stories, and they shared that. We tweeted them out to parents. They've been shared globally. It's an incredible journey, and they're coming out of grade 1 with these skills.
Our board is very good with collaborating, with working together, with seeking opinions. So we don't usually see things get to a really big problem. If there's a small problem somewhere that we need to discuss, we can do that. And they come to us and they ask for parent feedback. That's a big difference. When I go to things provincially, we often see that some of our parent associations are struggling with those relationships. A few years back, the Director of Education said to the then chair of the Parent Association that I think we need to work together more. And working together, I think, has really brought success. The other thing that they did really well, we're really blessed to have a really good relationship. And all of these people here today, I feel like I know fairly personally. Their doors are open. I can email them at 10 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock in the morning and know I'll get an answer. And so about 4 years ago, I think we had a conference. We do a Saturday conference. And Tom D'Amico actually said, would you like to do one on technology? And he pulled together all the speakers for us, and we had a whole event on technology because it was new at that point. So we had a smart board there for parents to see what it was that was different. Why would we want to put one of these in our schools? Why would our kids be interested in this technology? And then look at the things you can do. Look at the different ways that you could use technology as a council or as a parent at home. So sharing the information with parents, and we've had ongoing workshops over the last 4 years, and promoting the technology, helping parents understand why we're using it, using social media in a positive way to engage parents. One of the pieces that they incorporated in this plan is the Samaritans on the Digital Road, the digital citizenship program for the kids from kindergarten now to grade 12. And it's 1 week where they spend some time talking about being a good digital citizen. The reality is we are all learning these technologies together. As parents, sometimes our kids are way ahead of us, and that can be really scary. And that's sometimes who feels the most vulnerable, the parents who don't know much about the technology. So certainly sharing the benefits, helping parents understand where they need to supervise their children more and the pitfalls that they might fall into as they're doing that. But schools are an educational institution. It's nice to see that people who understand the technology are helping the children learn how to use it properly. They're modeling it for them, and they're making corrections when they make errors, because that's what we really need to do. So working together and learning these things. I mean, it's nothing to have the kids teaching the parents and sometimes showing a teacher a trick that they've learned. We're all learning together, and that can be scary for an educator or for a parent to have your kid in charge of something. You know, when we grew up, our parents knew more than we did. We don't always think they did, but reality, they did. This is a place where parents don't necessarily know. You have a few parents that are really IT savvy, but you have lots that haven't done much on it. So you have to look. And we talked about, you know, trying to share more with parents. You know, should we develop a Samaritans on the Digital Road for parents? Like, how can we do this part? So it's all part and parcel. But this is a great opportunity to have people who know what they're doing help form all of our opinions on this.
I think the important thing is that they're open. The board has always been open. I know in my past life, as I call it, when you came to the board with concerns, people did listen, and together we did try to resolve any concerns that teachers may have, and it's more a one-on-one type of thing when you're dealing individually with teachers. But collectively, when you go to the board, people are very open to the innovations that are happening, and the presentations come, the schools come and do presentations for the board. So it gives the trustees who have never been in a classroom an opportunity to preview a little bit of what's coming and also to experience what has already been. And everybody's very open and very excited about the changes that are happening, and hopefully we can continue it. The key is that everyone feel comfortable and everybody be ready and everybody feel that what they're doing is worthwhile. And the hard thing is to acknowledge that there's nothing to be stressed about. That, you know, it's a new way of doing things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad way of doing things. That change happens and we have to go with the times. And we're teaching students to go out into the world. So the only way we can teach them to go out into the world is to teach them technology right now. And so we have to go out in the same world that we want them to go out into.
We were doing a district review in one of my schools. I walked into a chemistry, I believe it was a chemistry class, and there was a student there with her smartphone kind of propped up on a little mini easel and her Bluetooth keyboard, and she was working on her chemistry assignment on that particular device. I asked her, you know, why are you using this particular device? She said, oh, I could go and borrow a Chromebook from the classroom or a laptop. I could use whatever I want, but I really like using this device. I use it to write my English assignments. I use it for my chemistry assignments. While I'm talking to her, she's also collaborating with two other students who are using different devices, and the teacher is using HAPRA and essentially monitoring the student work and making comments, so providing feedback to those students about next steps that they could be using as part of their lab. And so that, to me, captured I guess a multitude of ways that we've allowed technology to flourish, but we've used it in a very thoughtful, meaningful way.